Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us here tonight. This is the night. We are here on the eve of a very important deadline for the San Marcos Foothills. The San Marcos Foothills Forever campaign, which was launched barely 3 months ago to preserve the West Mesa and permanently protect that space for all of our community. We are so far down this very exciting, amazingly quick path, and tonight we have with us some incredible musicians, amazing local musicians, people with local roots right here in Santa Barbara who volunteered their time to help us raise the final dollars needed to get us over that finish line. So tonight you're going to hear, and I do mean hear and see, from Bruce Goldish, from Zach Gill, from Glen Phillips, as well as now Nashville-based musician Rich Mahan. So our goal tonight is to, of course, entertain, to have these fabulous folks lend their talents to you and to celebrate the work that has been happening for the last several months and really many years to preserve and permanently protect the West Mesa of the San Marcos foothills. What we have is a deadline of June 1st. So as I sit here tonight, I'm talking to you on May the 27th, just on the eve of the Memorial Day weekend holiday. As of last night, we were at the $12 million mark. That is $12 million raised in 11 weeks. You can do the math on that, but that's an amazing accomplishment. Over $1 million a week raised just for this very brief, very high energy, amazing community-wide campaign. I'm just one of dozens of people that stepped forward over these last months to help this happen. And I personally do it because I believe in it. This is a legacy that Santa Barbara has. We have done this many times over, preserving and protecting our lands, our open spaces, our wild spaces, protecting the natural history, the cultural history, and really making sure that all of us have the opportunity to enjoy these spaces and learn from them. That is true today, and that will be true for generations. And the beauty of doing this for a piece of property, a piece of land, an open space, a real part of our landscape, is that it's here forever. So once we succeed, it is here forever. And that's what we're asking you to help us do. I have a very exciting announcement, and I'm not going to tell you yet. I'm just going to let you know I have a very exciting announcement. And somewhere in the middle of this show, I will be able to share that. Today was a very good day, again, and tonight will be a very good night. So we thank you for being with us. We thank you for being willing to spend some time with us. Obviously, to enjoy the talents of our fine local musicians who've lent themselves tonight to this effort, to this process. But we also have a lot of other people out there who've made this possible. So we're going to show you a little bit about that. We're going to show you some of the fine folks who've made this possible for us to launch into this campaign. And we'll be back in just a moment and I'll tell you more.
Amazing weather.
Beautiful mountains.
Shoreline and great people.
This is the Santa Barbara we know and love.
As the fog of daily life lifts,
It reveals a gem of open space.
People from all corners of the community come here to connect with the earth.
Here at San Marcos Foothills, nature abounds.
but once homes are built here, this land will be forever changed.
We have one chance to protect this place forever.
Just like we did at the Douglas Family Preserve and Elwood.
This wildland touches the hearts of humans, young and old.
And our native creatures,
Big and small.
the only undeveloped open space in our foothills until the Gaviota Coast.
It is cherished land and it is deserving of our protection.
Nature needs us just as much as we need her.
Now is the time to save the San Marcos foothills.
Donate and spread the word to ensure this legacy for our future generations.
We only have until June 1st.
So there you have it. Young folks who know how important this is. This truly has been a multi-generational campaign. So there are people involved in this effort whose ancestors lived on this actual spot, have occupied and lived and made homes on these lands for many, many generations. We have folks that have just discovered it in the last few months. And of course, we have young people that realize that the preservation of a place like this is not only going to benefit them and their lives, but also their next generation and the next and the next. So it is truly a community-wide effort, and we're really grateful to everyone who's done this. I want to tell you a little bit about this campaign and how it got started. Maybe going back a generation, really, some of us remember the late 1990s, early 2000s, when these lands were 300 acres, and the idea was that there was some development that was going to happen there, and the community weighed in and said, we'd like to see some of this preserved. There was quite an active negotiation, and ultimately the owner was good enough to donate a big portion of that. About 2/3 of that land was donated and became what is now the San Marcos Foothills Preserve. And for those of us that were there at the time, we all believed that was the end. I mean, that was a very good outcome, to have 200 acres donated to permanent public use, another 100 that would be developed. And we thought that was really the best that could be negotiated, the best deal that we could hope for in our community. And 15, 16 years later, that ridge had not yet been developed. And so it was just last fall that the question re-arose, and it was a question of could we actually raise the funds to purchase the rest of that land? So those of us, like myself, who believe that was possible, we know the history in our community. We know how many dollars have been given to this kind of work. We know of the decades of preservation efforts, whether we're talking about Shoreline Park of the 1960s, whether we're talking about the Douglas Preserve, formerly Wilcox property, whether we're talking about Hot Springs Canyon or the Sperling Preserve out at Elwood. These are all places that have been preserved because the community stepped forward and said this is important. So we believe it can be done. And so in early March, we set forth on this amazing campaign to raise over $18 million in just 90 days. And many people said that's not a thing. You just don't do that. If anyone had asked me, frankly, I would have said, nah, don't try that. That's not going to work. But I knew the place, I know the community, and we knew that the resources are here, the will is here, the history is here, the commitment is here, the values are here. And sure enough, I told you already, $12 million in 11 weeks. So that's what we're here to do, is to move that past that goal line on June 1st, just after this coming holiday weekend. So tonight, there are many ways you can give. And you can send a check. We accept that, old school, we like that. There is a website, it's a beautiful website. There's information, videos, there's photographs, there's all kinds of history, natural and cultural history there. Foothillsforever.org. If you haven't seen it yet, check it out. We're going to throw this slide up here, and we're going to show you some of the different ways you can give. So like I said, you can mail a check. You can go online and give. You can text to give, and the instructions are right there in front of you. There are ways to text to give. If you want to just do it right now, you're inspired. And frankly, if you're not inspired yet, you will be inspired soon. So hang tight. Inspiration is coming. And there are ways that you can donate appreciated stocks. There's so many things you can do. You can pick up the phone and we'll help you. You can give us your bank account and we'll just take care of it. You don't have to worry about it. But what we want to do is make sure that everyone who wants to give and support this work has an opportunity to do so. So we're going to get into the music because that's what we're here to do. And we have someone to kick us off tonight who is well known, and of course he's been in our news. He's been through a lot this last year. He's an incredible musician, an incredible community member, so generous with his time and talent, known locally. And if you know Bruce, you know this. He is the parking garage guitarist, and of course he used the reverb of those concrete walls in there to work it out. So I want to welcome Bruce Goldish to the screen. Please enjoy what Bruce has to offer. So there you have it. Thank you so much, Bruce, for doing that for us. I'll tell you a little story. I play a little bit of guitar. I'm no Bruce Goldish, but I play a little bit of guitar. And when I was a UCSB student, I would go hide in the Phelps Hall stairwell just to get that same effect. Bruce has mastered it far beyond what I can do. So thank goodness no one asked me to play tonight. But thank you so much, Bruce. Always inspiring. We really love what you do in our community. And of course, thank you for doing this for us here tonight. So we have a lot more in store for you. I think what we're going to do now is take a look. We have a donor screen there. It'll show you a little bit about how we're doing, the progress made. You know what these look like. It's a little thermometer with the goal and how much has been given. I know tonight some of you have already texted to give. Thank you for that. I sound like I'm in a big empty room by myself, but I'm really not. There's a crew of folks here making this happen. So you want to meet them? All right. Hey, everybody, say hello. All right. Look at that. Please take that as a thank you, everyone who's given so far. And we know we got 100 plus, 200, I don't know, 10,000. Let's tell everybody there's 10,000 people watching right now. It doesn't matter. As long as you're watching, it's good. But this is how we're doing. So we thank you. Again, there's that big gap. Oh, God, I have a good surprise for you. I can't give it to you yet, but I'm going to tell you some really good news in just a little bit here, some news that came in today. So again, we welcome you to give any way that you can, any amount that you can. We have over 4,300 gifts thus far. And that's another thing. I was giving you the big numbers, and of course the big gifts are critical at a time like this. But the other equally critical part is the fact that there's a broad base of support, not only in our region, but beyond. And that's because people have seen pictures of this land, photographs of this land. They've been in that space. If you haven't, we'll talk about that later. Please do. It'll inspire you as well. So we're going to move on now to our next performer. And he, as I said, is doing this live from Nashville, or almost live. He just did this for us from Nashville. But Rich Mahan, who many of you know and have heard in the community and beyond. And we want to welcome Rich to the show. So please take it away, Mr. Rich Mahan.
Hi folks, Rich Mahan here. You know, public open spaces are vital to preserving the vibe of any area. And we all know how special Santa Barbara is to each and every one of us. Please help us preserve the San Marcos Foothills West Mesa area and keep it intact for current and future generations to enjoy, free of development. Please visit foothillsforever.org to learn more and assist in this noble effort. Thank you. I sit down in my easy chair, grab myself a beer, listen to the latest thing they think I want to hear. Whether it's a happy tale or one of death and woe, it's got a grin so big that it could hold a shovel full of those politics and murder. Politics and murder, baby, yeah. I get my politics and murder every night from a blue-eyed blonde. Watch these politicians spend their dirty little game. They promise something different and they always act the same. Who cares about tomorrow? Let's eat coconuts today. Label any caring soul who gets in our way. Politics and murder. Politics and murder, baby, yeah. I give my politics and murder every night from a blue-eyed blonde. So let's waste some water, clear some jungle, go ahead and store a pygmy kill. That's way down in the valley, and my house is on the hill. And it doesn't really matter when those bleeding hearts complain, 'cause they're so full of it that there's no room to call their brain. Politics and murder. Politics and murder, baby, yeah. I give my politics and murder every night from a blue-eyed blonde. Politics and murder every night from a blue-eyed blonde. I'm Rich Mahan. Please remember to visit foothillsforever.org. Check it out, share it with a friend, see what you can do to help. Maybe it's financial, maybe it's a little bit of time, but thanks for checking out foothillsforever.org. Coffee in the morning, tea in the afternoon. Coffee in the morning, tea in the afternoon. Yes, each have their own time of day, so don't get in the way of a man when he wants to sip on his favorite brew. Coffee in the morning, tea in the afternoon. Well, I'm a creature of habit. I like my tea unsweet. My coffee black, my glass of whiskey neat. Yeah, when 5 o'clock rolls around, you can bet I'm babbing bound. So grab your guitar and let's pick a tune or two. Coffee in the morning, tea in the afternoon. Well, here's a little something that my friend taught me how to do. You just boil some simple syrup with a rosemary sprinkle too. Yeah, I've not tried it in coffee or tea, but it's great in old Jim Beam. And the next time you're over, I'll introduce you to coffee in the morning, tea in the afternoon. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Coffee in the morning, tea in the afternoon. Foothillsforever.org.
Thank you so much, Rich. That was recorded just for us tonight, just within the last couple of days. We reached out broadly to all of our favorite musicians and just said, can you help? Can you be part of this? Rich said yes, so thank you again so much, Rich. We are so grateful for you being here with us tonight again. We are here to raise the dollars to get us over that finish line to preserve the West Mesa of the San Marcos foothills. This is a campaign that kicked off in March, 90 days to raise more than $18 million, really 20 when all is said and done. And we have done an amazing job so far. As of last night, $12 million in 11 weeks. And as I said, there's some great news I get to share with you in just a moment about that number. But in the meantime, we want to take a look. Let's look at that donor screen again and see where we're at. There's a little thermometer there. It gives you a sense of how to do it and what you can do and how people are doing. And thank you to everyone that's done anything. You can mail a check. You can go online. You can text to 44321, Foothills Forever. This is what gets us over that finish line. And again, the deadline is June the 1st. So we're talking about just after this holiday weekend. That's the deadline. So we are on a extremely fast pace. I think we set some records. I'm sure we're going to look back in the history books and say no one has ever raised this much, this fast for this critical purpose. But again, that's an incredible open space right now. So much natural history, so much wildlife. If you haven't been there, we want to invite you to go. If you have been there, go back. I go just to remind myself of why we've all stepped forward to do this campaign. We are going into the Memorial Day weekend, and so as you watch this right now, I can tell you there are guided tours every day this holiday weekend. So Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, 10 a.m. up at the Foothills. All you got to do is get up there, cross the bridge to nowhere, park in that parking lot. You will see all the information there. There will be folks tabling, there will be information, but 10 a.m. Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. But of course, you don't have to do it then. You can do it anytime, just like your donations. Do it anytime. Go enjoy a sunset, a sunrise. It's a lovely place. And that's, of course, what we're doing here tonight. So now I have the pleasure of introducing someone live. And I have to say, 15 months into COVID, saying that itself is just, this is delightful. So we have, as I shared, some recorded pieces from wonderful musicians all over the globe, all based here in Santa Barbara. But with me in the studio, and he's right there, he's like 8.5 feet away from me, is Mr. Zach Gill. He is, if you know anything about Santa Barbara music, and there it is right there. See, that was live. You want to try that again? Live, not member. That Zach has done, I mean, if you know ALO, you know ALO. If you've seen Zach perform anywhere in this community, not only is he an incredible musician, he can do basically anything, but he's also a really generous, kind, giving, community-minded guy. And he's here tonight to perform, to help us raise the money for San Marcos Foothills Forever. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome, and I'm going to ask my real live studio audience to help me welcome, Mr. Zach Gill!
Thank you, everybody. We are streaming. We're doing a double stream here. We're streaming from my phone, and hopefully this works. But for the people watching on the Zach Gill phone stream, you should switch to the YouTube link that's on my Instagram page. Anyway, the San Marcos Foothills, let's save those things. I was unfamiliar with the San Marcos Foothills. I had heard the buzz around town, save the San Marcos Foothills, and as a resident of Western Goleta, I rarely make it past Turnpike. It's like it's a big deal, and so I hadn't really checked it out. So I was checking out the San Marcos Foothills, and I went for a walk with my buddies Ovi and Ethan, and we didn't know where to start. We just thought, let's check this out. Let's go to the San Marcos Foothills, see what the deal is. And we started. We kind of walked through what I think is the west piece. We got, and it was, it's pretty rugged. It's not quite as manicured, but we found this killer oak tree, and we sat. And it was a day before my birthday, and we talked about all sorts of wonderful things. And then we wondered, because we didn't set out on the path, there were some ticks. And so we were concerned about the ticks, and we were like, let's not go back the way we came. That was a little ticky. And so we're like, oh, I think we should have gone on that path. And we were looking at the path down below, and we kind of careened to the path, and we made it to the path. And we were just walking along the path, just three old friends, Ovi and Ethan and Zach, talking about life. And I had this feeling that we could just walk forever. And I felt a little bit like that movie Stand By Me, just like I felt like I was like in junior high, and I was just walking with like two friends, and we were just talking, and I felt like that was and to be honest, I was like with you, I was like, this is an impossible goal. I'm not sure, I heard about the buzz, but I was like, there's nothing I can do. I'm not good for $1 million. I'm not, I don't have it, Thank you. But so anyway, I was walking there with my friends, and I was like, this is a beautiful place. And if people for generations could experience that, then that would be a wonderful thing. And so I emailed Donnie back, and I'm here, or Danny, and I'm here, and I'm raring to go. And as I was preparing, I thought about this song. It's kind of an old ALO song. And I wrote it a long time ago in Yosemite. I was with my friend Chucky. Chuck Carter, and we were in Yosemite, and we were climbing over rocks, and I just was amazed at the water and the world. I was in awe. And so may everybody, the hope is that we all get a sense of awe, and I think that's what this preserving open spaces is all about, a sense of awe. So anyway, it's called The Water Song. Canyons carved out by oceans, beneath the light of 1 billion stars. The old ones knew the truth about us. Our purpose is to be just what we are. Our purpose is to be just what we are. Canyons carved out by notions, Neanderthals wrestling with time, mountains of impossible proportion that only exist inside your mind, that only exist inside your mind. And the water, it grows and it covers your soul, and you know that it's all anybody can do, just to be who we are when the times they get hard and there's nowhere that's left to run to. And the water, it grows and it carves up the world like it carves up the stones. And the water, it grows, and the water, it grows, and it carves up the world like it carves up the stones. Carves up the world like it carved up our bones. Staring 20 years into the future, wondering if that's me that I see. Wrinkles carved out by emotions, standing in water up to my knees. Standing in water up to my knees. And the water, it grows and it covers your soul, and you know that it's all anybody can do, just to be who we are when the times they get hard and there's nowhere that's left to run to. And the water, it grows, and the water, it grows, and the water, it grows, and it carves up the world like it carves up the stones. Thank you. Save those foothills.
Thank you. Oh, thank you so much, Zach. You see, Zach, he can do anything. I told you. He's going to be back with us too. This is not the last we've heard of Zach tonight.
Just the first.
Just the first.
Yeah.
You mentioned Chuck Carter. We got to talk about Chuck. Yeah, my old roommate. All right. We've got so much more in store for you. What we're going to do right now is hear from one of those donors who was inspired to do everything she could, really. And we've had so many people that have stepped forward to give to the campaign, and they've done it, and then they've done more, and then they've done more again. And Gwen is one of these people. So Gwen Dawson has something to share with us about why she did that, why she's become such a major supporter of this effort. And we hope that her story will inspire others as well, and maybe inspire you. So please take a listen to one of our fabulous donors, Miss Gwen Dawson.
I have never invested this much money in any kind of charitable project or anything. in my life, but there's something about saving land that just has moved me. And I gave something first of all, and then I thought, okay, that was fine. There are a lot of other charities. And then I thought, but wait a minute, what about all that land? So I've lived in Santa Barbara since 1964. My father was Stuart Taylor, and he dragged us all out here from Philadelphia, and he took over the news press, and we were all crying all the time. He was happy, and we were miserable. We just thought, Dad, this is not a good idea. And I thought, well, why go to crazy California with earthquakes and all that stuff? Somehow we began to get our groove, and we lived in Hope Ranch, so there were those beautiful views of the mountains, and there was the ocean, and I began to feel a little bit better about all this after a while. Then I was a young divorced woman and mother, and my son and I lived in apartments on Arriaga Street and on Figueroa Street with no yard, no land, no nothing basically. So just the parks downtown were super important to me that I could walk to from Arriaga, and also my parents' house. That helped. But now I find myself a 74-year-old woman, which is sort of a big old shock, and I realize, what important thing can I do in my life? I'm not going to be here that long. What could make a difference in this world? And I think I'm how lucky I am to have gotten to live in Santa Barbara most of my, this life since I was 16. I want this land for my children, my grandchildren, my great-grandchildren, everybody's children. I don't want it to be some place for wealthy people where you have mega mansions and regular people are excluded the way they are all the time in this world. So I thought, okay, that's something I can get excited about. I want this land preserved and saved for them. I want these kids to walk on this land, to know it, to see nature, to see the animals, and to be changed, and to know beauty and peace forever in these foothills.
So that's just one story, one of 4,300 and some change stories about why donors have supported and stepped up to this campaign. Like I said, it's been a sprint. $12 million as of last night over 11 weeks. And Gwen's story is certainly inspiring. We've asked her to tell it a couple of times. She's told it here again, and we thank you, Gwen and Roger, for doing this. So here's the big announcement. This is what I teased, that earlier we had something really exciting to share with you. I've been using very careful language tonight to say that we had $12 million as of last night. And that was true. We'd crossed that mark. We were so happy. That meant we were basically 2/3 of the way there. And again, $12 million in 11 weeks. But today, this morning, some really, really big news. And I get to share it with you now. For the first time, everyone is listening right now, you are hearing this for the first time. We have, from a local businesswoman who has been committed for many, many years to all kinds of philanthropy and local causes, she has given, through her new foundation, a $5 million gift to San Marcos Foothills Forever. Let's hear it. $5 million. And you can do the math. That means the 12 million became 17 million toward our 18.6. So 18.6 is that goal. It's that special goal which gets us to actually make the purchase next week. And as of today, we are at $17 million plus whatever we do tonight. I am so grateful. We're leaving her anonymous for the time being. My guess is we'll be able to share that later. But thank you so much. You know who you are, and the folks that were part of the conversation that led to that gift, thank you so much. $5 million committed today to San Marcos Foothills Forever to permanently preserve and protect the West Mesa, that 101 acres. Yes! Yes, let's have the live moment right now. Ah, it feels good, especially to those of us who've been thinking, are we going to do it? Are we going to do it? So this is so encouraging. And again, we're not there yet. We're at 17 million toward 18.6. That means 1.6 million to go. But if we did 12 million in 11 weeks and 5 million today in the next 5 days, we know we can get there. So we rely on you, everybody watching, everybody thinking about it. Anyone who is sitting back saying, I don't know if they're going to pull this off. Now you see how close we are. So we invite you in to be part of this campaign. Thank you so much. We're going to take a look at that screen again of all the different ways that you can give. 4 ways to give. You can mail a check. You can go online and give us your credit card right there. You can turn over your entire assets or your entire life savings. No questions asked. We'll accept it. You can go ahead and give a call. Foothillsforever.org is the website. Foothillsforever.org. Easy to remember. It's all there. You can text to give. You can see how right there on the screen. And if you need to see the Foothills and you need to remember or see for the first time why this place is so special, 10 a.m. this Saturday, Sunday, Monday, we're going to be leading tours, but you can go there anytime. So we thank you all for everything you've done, everything you can do, everything you will do. And if you're sitting on the fence and you're sitting on the edge and wondering whether this is something worth doing, I think what we've shared tonight hopefully moves you forward. So thank you, Gwen, for your testimonial. Thank you so much, Zach. We're going to have you back before this is all over tonight. Thank you to Bruce and thank you to Rich. And now I have the pleasure of introducing one of Santa Barbara's favorites, a musician who has a long and storied career here in town, decades of lovely music, community engagement, a fairly well-known band in his history, and is still writing and playing and performing today. Mr. Glen Phillips has agreed to share a bit with us. He is off this week, off the grid, so just before he left, he said, you know what? Yes, I'll do that for you. And so what we're happy to share with you now is a little bit from Mr. Glen Phillips. Enjoy.
Hey, how you doing? I'm Glen Phillips, and happy to be here. I'm glad you are here in support of saving the San Marcos foothills and keeping the open space open and the natural space natural. There's not so much of it left when you get closer to the coast, and the bits we do to keep the biodiversity, to keep the range of those plants, to keep the sacred lands sacred. So thank you for doing your part in helping preserve this, and hopefully we can keep this land pristine and beautiful for generations to come. So, all right, I'll play you some songs. Nothing so loud as hearing when we lie. Truth is not kind. You said neither am I. The air outside so soft, saying everything, everything. All I want is to feel this way, be this close, feel the same. All I want is to feel this way. The evening speaks, feel it say. Nothing so cold as closing the heart, and all we need is to free the soul. We wouldn't be that brave, I know. The air outside so soft, confessing everything, everything. All I want is to be this way, be this close, be the same. All I want is to be this way. The evening speaks, feel it say. And it won't matter now, whatever happens will be, though the air speaks and war will never be. It won't trouble me, no, no. Well, it won't trouble me. All I want is to be this way, be this close, be the same. All I want All right, I got one more for you. This I wrote after the debris flows about Cold Springs Trail, which was, I don't know, for more than 20 years, my favorite trail in town, when I would walk the most. And I just remember going up there after, it was about a year after the debris flow, and just feeling like, for the first time, I felt like the land was going through something really personal, and I was kind of intruding on it in some way. And felt very naked, very vulnerable. So anyway, this came out.
With a shrug of her shoulders, the mountain came down, tore a path all the way to the water, and through my sleeping town. And the trails I'd wandered, all erased in the birth of the million-year-old rock, from the naked, gasping earth. Oh, my children, where you gonna go? Now you've lost the land you called your home. When the earth is burning, fever on her brow, crying, oh, my children, who will save you now? Now the winters hit harder, the summers are fire, and the rains are the tears of a mother for her rebellious, reckless child. But still the spring brings clover amid the blackened oaks, and sprays of fledgling branches, and the wild flowers below. Oh, my children, where you gonna go? Now you've lost the land you called your home. When the earth is burning, fever on her brow, crying, oh, my children, who will save you now? Farewell, the family of the Holocene. Farewell, the fragile air, the sea, the land. 5 times before she's seen the rise and fall again, never by their own hand, never by their own. Oh, my children, chaos was my lover, but fate is my bride. We will meet at the edge of the ocean and the ever-rising tide. Oh, my children, where you gonna go? Now you lost the land you called your home. When the earth is burning, fever on her brow, crying, oh my children, who will save you now? When the earth is burning, fever on her brow, crying, oh my children, who will save you now? All right. Thank you. Have a beautiful day. Thanks for working to help preserve San Marcos Foothills. Take care.
Thank you so much, Glenn. You're amazing. You're always so generous with your time and talent, and you could, thanks to technology, you could do this and then take off, get some time away, which we very much know you deserve. So that was Mr. Glen Phillips, of course, the Toad the Wet Sprocket, his own incredible catalog of songs. You know, Toad's getting back together again for a tour this fall as we open back up post-pandemic. So keep an eye out for Glen and for Toad around, well, everywhere, really. We're so grateful for you, Glenn, for doing this for us, and thank you all for joining us for tonight. So we're going to take a look at where we are. I want to take a look at that donor screen again, that little thermometer. Gave you the good news that 5 million that came in today, so it puts us over 17 million toward that 18.6. There we go, the live audience. So $1.6 million to go. We know that hundreds of you have signed on tonight, and we know this because of technology. We see that you're out there watching this, being part of this experience tonight, just days before that June 1st deadline. We're grateful for that. But here's what else we know. I know that about 90% of you are enjoying a beautiful free show, inspiring show to get you excited about the Foothills. About 10% of you have actually made a gift. Thank you so much to those 10%. A few $1,000s raised so far. Yes, let's give them a cheer. So if that's you, thank you. If you haven't done it yet, there's only two types of people. There's those who've given and those who haven't given yet. That's all there is. So we thank you for being in whatever category you currently sit, and for whatever you're going to do, and you're going to do something. We know that. Thank you in advance if you haven't done it yet. You got 4 ways to give. You can text, you can call, you can go online and give via credit card. And of course, you can also just put a check in the mail. We're so grateful for that. We want to keep this going. And of course, like you learned earlier, I have a colleague here live in the studio, which is so nice to say at this point in the COVID land, Mr. Zach Gill. This time, accordion in hand, is going to play for a few more tunes for us. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back, give a warm welcome to Mr. Zach Gill.
All right, this is it. This is it. You take some money. Take some money, you take some money, you take some fame. Go ahead and use your credit card and jump on the train. All of us together when we take a stand, we might just save the land. With the power of love. The first time you feel it, it might make you mad. Next time you feel it, it might make you sad. But you'll be glad, baby, when you found that's the power that the world go round. It takes some money, takes some fame, takes your credit card to ride this train. It's strong and it's sudden, it can be cruel sometimes. Wait, that's not it. This one. Right now, all of us together, we'll sing the foothills forever. Feel the power, that's the power of love. That's the power of love. You feel the power of love. You feel the power of love, 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 love. This is my finale. In case you didn't know, I just wanted this to feel like the end of a great movie. I really think this is a a David and Goliath moment. Somehow, the ragtag band of creative people figured out a way to do it, to do the impossible. Dreams can happen. They're happening right now. Oh, man. So use your money, use your fame, use your credit card and hop on the train. All of us right now, all of us together, we'll save the foothills forever. That's the power. That's the power of love. That's the power. That's the power of love. That's the power. You'll feel the power of love.
So why did you say yes to this?
I believe. I'm a believer.
A believer. All right,
Yeah,
Zach.
it's happening.
Zach.
I mean, it's going to happen. We're going to have.
We're going to do this. Yeah. We're there.
We're going to walk into those hills.
Yep.
We're going to take.
Yep.
There's going to be wilderness youth projects going to happen there.
Absolutely.
It's gonna be a thing for generations and generations. What a beautiful, impossible thing that's happening.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Congratulations, everybody. I mean, we keep going.
Yeah. It's not over.
It's not over
yet.
No.
All right.
No, it's not over, but it's going to happen.
Yeah, we're there.
I'm a believer.
Yeah.
I wasn't a believer. I'm a believer now. I'm a convert.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much, Zach, for doing this for us and being in here.
Yeah, my pleasure.
All right, Zach Gill, ladies and gentlemen, give him a big hand. You got time for another one. Do you want to do another one? You don't have to.
Sure.
Yeah?
Sure.
All right. Well, Zach's thinking about that. No pressure.
If there's time. Yeah.
There's time. I want to show that. Let's look at that thermometer one more time, that donor screen, and talk about what we're seeing tonight. People have stepped forward. We're so grateful for that. What this means is that we are that much closer to the goal. And of course, again, the goal is to raise $18.6 million by Tuesday. So this is not a date far in the future. This is Tuesday. To try to get this done.
Till Tuesday.
Oh. Voices carry? No, all right.
Voices carry, yeah.
All right, so we're gonna give Zach the floor one more time tonight before we close down here. But again, thank you so much. Please keep giving. You got a lot of opportunity, and we're doing this all the way through the deadline on Tuesday. 1.6 million to go. Mr. Zach Gill.
Till Tuesday. Oh, Maria, I'm in the dark, searching for something that's already in my heart. You are the moon, light my source of heat, glowing so strong and pure, so soft and sweet. Well, I'm just overflowing with love for you, 'cause you fill my cup and my body too. Yeah, you fill my cup and my body too. Oh, Maria, I know I should get back to you now, just like I said I would. But you are an ocean, my emerald sea. I think ahead to the days when your waves will envelop me. Well, I'm just overflowing with love for you, 'cause you fill my cup and my body too. Yeah, you fill my cup and my body too. And if we lose our balance and we start to drift and fall, yeah, we wind up on our knees. Well, remember, we still can crawl. Oh, my sweetness, you know that I want to walk with you into the nights, my Maria, so endlessly, are flowing through my veins and through my dreams. Well, I'm just overflowing with love for you, 'cause you take my dreams and you make them true. Well, I'm overflowing with love for you, 'cause you fill my cup and my body too. Yeah, you fill my cup and my body too.
Hey, thank you so much, Zach. We squeezed one more in. Look at that. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. We did it. Zach Gill, ladies and gentlemen, so generous with his time and talent. Thank you, Zach, for doing this for us. Thank you for doing this in the studio. So this brings us to the end of our show, folks. We tonight have continued to raise dollars throughout. We thank you so much for what you've done, what you're going to do. Again, $1.6 million to go to that 18.6 magic number so that we can purchase and permanently preserve the West Mesa of the San Marcos foothills. This has been a 90-day campaign. We're going to do it. And thanks to you, we are here tonight, and we are at that finish line. We can see it in the distance. We've got a ways to go. I want to thank everybody that made tonight possible. We have got, of course, all of our fabulous musicians, Mr. Glen Phillips, Mr. Zach Gill, Mr. Bruce Mahan, and of course, we've got all of the folks. I'm sorry. Did I call Bruce Rich and Rich Bruce? Rich Mahan, Bruce Goldish. That's how it works. Thank you. That's what I needed. So all the musicians that made tonight possible, we're so grateful to you. I also want to thank our team that put this together, the tech that goes behind this. Again, you can't see this, but I'm looking right at them. The fabulous team at West Beach Films, West Beach Productions. We've got Paul Matthew and Matt Broughton here tonight making this possible. We also had Luke Archer, so helpful in getting this together and getting this out there and seeing all those beautiful graphics out there. I want to thank Danny Lynch. She's here with us tonight, and I swear without Danny saying, we can do this, let's pull it off and put it together, this wouldn't have happened. She's behind her own camera right now, thanks to iPhone technology. We've also got a few members of the campaign. We've got Mary Rose, our campaign coordinator, manager, runner of all things. We've got Naomi Kovacs. We've got Nancy Tubiolo, all here tonight. Give them all a hand. And I don't know what else to tell you other than we're so grateful for your work. We are going to do this. The San Marcos foothills are going to be forever for our community. The West Mesa, that 101 acres, will be there for our children, our children's children, environmental education, the wildlife that call it home, all of the generations and generations of Chumash history. It all will be preserved and will go on into the future. Please continue to give all you can. We want to thank you all for joining us tonight. And with that, we're going to say good night. Thank you all.